we live?
Yep.
All right, guys, welcome back to the JROD pod. This is me, JROD. I'm doing it solo. I'm not sure if Jalen will be back, but as of right now, it's just JROD and the pod. Also, we have Jay, the sound engineer. Say hello, Jay.
What up, what up?
And we got some great things to talk about today. So, let's start out by saying this. The world right now is in chaos. Ukraine, we have Israel, we have Rafah, and then I just saw a thing about, these Russian ships that were sent by Russia, obviously, 100 miles off the coast near Cuba. But we're going to get into that. I want to talk about this very disturbed woman, very disturbed, very sick woman from New Hampshire. No surprise. There's not, I'm not trying to diss anyone from New Hampshire, but there are just disturbed people there. And this woman decided she was going to open up a spa, but not just any spa. A spa for grown adults to wear diapers and, be treated like a baby.
The Diaper Spa offers nursery spa care, virtual playdates, and a diaper B&B that Murphy describes as a premier experience for the little one inside you.
Imagine a child, and he sees his father walk into this spa, and he looks through the glass, and he sees his dad in a diaper rolling around in his own shit. I mean, the respect is gone. Father just lost the respect of his son. His son's going to grow up to have a weird kink for wearing a diaper, probably, just like he did. And I believe she was, this woman, what was her name? Murphy. And she has to pay a $10,000 fine. They quoted it as a physician-run diaper spa. And despite the fact she did not hold a license to practice medicine in New Hampshire. That's a shocker. I would have thought that she had MD from Harvard or something.
She just running an adult daycare, I guess.
Running a daycare for adults. Not even like adults that are, autistic or mentally challenged. We're talking about, fully coherent.
Fetish adults.
Exactly. Adults that like to fetishize
being a baby.
That's so weird, man. That's so weird.
Playtime, story time, nap time, cuddle time. You understand why people read this when they think for an adult in a diaper, they talk about the judgment. They find it strange.
They do. And, I don't ask them to understand. It would be nice if they did, but you are not going to all understand other people's needs and lifestyle.
Murphy says her clients are all over 21, and she insists the diaper wearing isn't about recreation or sexual fetishes. So what do you hope comes from this?
That people learn to be accepting of people that, are different.
You ever met a furry? You know what a furry is?
What's that?
Oh, you don't know? Oh, my gosh. Okay. A furry is someone that wears, they'll wear, little cat ears, and then they'll, have, a tail.
Oh, the butt plug tail?
So they started making the butt plug tails. They have those, but before that, they had ones that were just attached to your pants, and you look like a cat or whatever, or,
Oh, shit.
And, they'd meow and shit. I remember I used to work at this glow-in-the-dark mini golf place called Putting Edge, and I would always have furries come through. But the weirdest one, this girl dressed as a puppy, or like a dog or whatever, she handed me, what's that mainstream brand of dog food? It's I forget the name, but it's the most, if I said it, you guys would know it. And she hands me this.
Like puppy chow or something?
I don't think it was puppy chow. It was like a big bag of dog food. And she just asked if I could.
Pedigree?
What?
Is it? It's just a brand of dog food.
Oh, it might have been pedigree. I'm not sure. But then she hands me a bowl, and the whole 18 is to the side of the desk, and so the other, whole one is on the other side. And so she starts it, and she said when she gets to hole 17, because 18 is the last one, I could fill up the bowl for her. And so I filled up the bowl once I started to get to hole 17. The 18th hole was like this one where it would go up into this little thing, and it had the circles, and you try to get in the center.
Yeah.
Last one, she does that, puts the putter back, gets down on all fours, and just starts eating the dog food.
What the fuck?
I told her she had to leave because there were families there and stuff. But that's what a furry is.
I have never encountered anything like that.
I mean, dude, you work in a glow-in-the-dark mini golf place. You got people tripping on shrooms, acid. I tripped on acid there. My first time ever taking acid, I was 15.
15?
15. I got dropped off at Putting Edge. I didn't work.
I never took acid. Like, what did it make you feel like when you was there?
Okay, so you ever seen like those like trippy videos, you know, show like those like it just like looks like trippy, like lava lamp shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like things start to look like that. Like it starts out like this. The first thing I noticed when I first did this was the floor, like it looked like there was a mist starting to cover the floor, right? And so this is the story. Well, I'll tell the story real quick. This is worth telling. So I'm 15. I don't have my license. My sister, she was like a senior in high school or whatever, and she had given me the acid. My sister doesn't take acid or anything, but she gave it to me. She gave me 2 tabs. I texted my buddy who was in school. I was not in school for some reason that day, and I asked him if he wanted to be picked up and take some acid. He hadn't taken it either. I didn't have my license. So I go and I drive my sister's car to the high school, but I park like in the neighborhood next to it. He sneaks out, gets in. Just like if you had a kid and you find out your kid was doing this, you would be appalled. You know what I mean? Like driving without a license, skipping school, picking up the buddy, and then you both take some acid, and then we make it back to my place, and then we just go for a walk, right? I'm like, you feeling it? And he's like, no, not yet. And then about 30 minutes later, we took the walk. We just get back to my house. All of a sudden, I see the mist. I'm like, yo. He's like, dude, I see it too. And then so we're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, you know, I thought it was going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my sister asked us if we want to go to Putting Edge, and she could just drop us off there. Like, sure. And so she drives us on to Putting Edge. And once we get there, I started tripping so hard. Everything was moving. Like, everything's moving. People's faces are looking like elongated and shit. So I can't even look at the manager guy. Luckily, my sister worked there at the time, so I didn't have to pay or talk to that man.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I hit the ball once. We just ran around. No one was there. We just ran around, laid on the ground, just tripping balls, dude. And then we get picked up. For some reason, I wanted to go to the library. I don't know why. By myself. Like, we dropped off my buddy at another one of my friend's houses. But for some reason, I felt like I had to go to the library. You know, like if you're doing something wrong, and then you feel like, I got to do this, you know, to make it right.
Yeah.
So then I go to the library and I just sit in a room. They had these rooms, and the calm down of acid, or not even like at a certain point, you start to reflect on your life, and you start to think about, like, you know, things you never want to think about. I
heard that. Yeah.
Dude, and I'm in this library room, and I'm just sitting there staring at the wall, and I can't get the thought out of my head. Jesus, I'm a dick. Like, I need to be nicer. Even though I'm a nice guy. Like, I was nice, but, like, you know, in high school, like, there were, like, weird kids. Like, kids that were, like, weird that, you know, you just didn't want to be, like, kind of associated with. I remember the next day I went to school, and I saw this girl, and I said hi. And she looked, like, surprised, and she was like, oh, hi, or whatever. She was kind of a weird girl. And then I said hi to this autistic kid who, like, not to be rude, won't shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, that was the biggest mistake I made by saying hi to him. Because after that,
talk to you every day.
Holy shit. Every day, you know, loud as hell, walking past the classrooms. If he sees me, hi, Johnny. Like, fuck, dude, like, hello, but, you know, not here. It showed me what empathy was. They're not just weird people. They're a human too, you know? So it did definitely make me start thinking a different way. But yeah, and how did we get into the acid thing? We were talking about kinks.
Kinks, yeah, from the diaper lady.
I wonder what kind of trip it'd be if you took acid and went to the diaper spa. You'd be regretting a lot, dude. Oh my gosh.
Probably talking like a baby and shit.
Dude, because you could feel like a baby. Like, you'd probably start to feel like one, because if you're in that environment and everyone around you and
is acting like babies,
dude, yeah, you literally probably start to feel like a baby and feel like you're being reborn. That's the whole point of taking mushrooms. She might actually be brilliant. she might be brilliant. I'm not kidding. Maybe that was the whole point. You get ketamine.
Reborn?
You get, like, if you take enough shrooms, like, you're, like, reborn. Like, one time I tripped so hard on shrooms. And I don't do, I don't really do psychedelics, anymore. But, I think once a year, a nice, good shroom trip is important because I think that it resets you and it kind of humbles you.
I know a lot of people microdose them.
Microdosing is good, too. Yeah. They sell these gummies now. Yeah, I've taken those before. Those are nice. They're not like, but like
chocolate bars too.
The chocolate bars, but like those. What I noticed is I've eaten a whole chocolate bar of those, and like you will like kind of hallucinate. But in terms of the like reborn and like the way you think, it doesn't do that. It doesn't have that psilocybin in it. So psilocybin is what makes you reflect really hard, and so you'll trip, but you won't have
just a strong high.
Right. But you like hallucinate too. So it is cool. But one shroom trip for one person once a year is very important, and because it also it humbles you and your ego goes. Like it kind of makes you.
Now, when you take that one shroom, do you have to like? You got to be at a special place, or could you be at home, or you got to go, like you want to be in a nice
environment around safe people, like people like that are your friends.
Yeah,
hopefully they're taking it too. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a bad environment, I went to a Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg concert, and I was on Molly, and I had never taken Molly. I've only taken it once, and this was it. And have you ever taken Molly?
No, I never took Molly.
Okay. I feel like a drug addict right now, but no, I'm kidding. But
smoke a lot of weed.
But yeah, and oh, dude, at that concert they brought out a joint literally this big, and they were smoking it like that. It was crazy, Snoop and Wiz, but it was rainy and muddy, and same buddy that I picked up for the acid I was with for this, and we get there and like everything is just feeling like warm, and it's just. You just want to be nice and cozy, bro. It's like kind of cold. It's rainy. It's muddy. It was at DTE.
Pine? No,
or what's the big like? It's a big hill.
That's not Pine Knob, is it? That's
with the concerts. I think it's
Is that over there in Clarkston or something?
I'm not sure. I think it's DTE, right? Or DE.
Where you got to bring like lawn chairs and stuff.
No, not in. So it's just like a big. Like
I know which one you're talking about. I just can't remember the damn name.
Yeah, I forget the name. I'll put a little picture of it up. But
it's not Pine Knob.
It could be. I'm not sure. But it's a big hill, dude. It's like steep. People were slipping in the mud, and it looked gross. Like, because we're on Molly, so everything should be pristine and like clean and cozy. But we're at like, oh my gosh, seeing these drunk girls. Like this one drunk girl came up to me, she's like, "Hi," and just like looked like mascara running down her face. Normally, I would have engaged in it, but I couldn't. I was just like, oh my god, like I gotta get out of here. And we end up going and sitting down outside of the concert area because it was just getting a little overwhelming. And so we just sit outside and we see this dude with no shirt. You ever seen, what was it, January? The thing at Washington, D.C. with the guy, what was it, January 6th or January 11th or... You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It's like a huge thing.
Yeah.
I can't... Where they try to quote, overthrow the... No, I know... Gosh. Fuck, what was that called? But,
when they stormed?
Yeah, they stormed the Capitol. The day they stormed the Capitol. The guy with the furry brown... Yeah, that guy. So a guy that looked just like that, but get rid of the brown hat and just Tarzan hair. We just see him run. He's running and he sprints. And there's like not really many people around us. We were just like sitting down and we see him. We're just like, all right, that was weird. A minute later, we see like 2 policemen run. And we're like, oh shit, must have been chasing that guy. 2 minutes later, we see the guy run back. And we're like, what the fuck? And then like this time, 20 seconds later, we see the policemen running. So they're gaining on this guy. And I don't know, he's just running back and forth kind of. And then we finally see him run, and he runs behind this big, tall tree that we can't, it's so big, we can't see behind it once he ran behind it. We saw him run behind it, and then the cops run behind it, and we just hear a zzz, and then a smack. And so he got tased, and I don't know what the smack was. I'm not sure if, like, that was, like, what happens after a taser goes off, or if he smacked the ground really hard. But
just smacked the shit out of him for running too much.
Dude, yeah, for real. I mean, and it was crazy. Like, we were just sitting there tripping, and we just see this whole thing go down. But, yeah, that was a crazy experience. But now back on track. Here we go. Yeah. So, in all, you know, if you're in New Hampshire and you were thinking about being a part of this diaper spa, just know you are disturbed and you are sick.
Was that it?
Yes, that.
Yeah, it's
Pine Knob, yeah. Is that? Yeah, that's it.
ETE,
Yep, that's it. You know, one time I went there and I went on a party bus with some friends, and there was this girl I was with, and me and my buddy, and then these two girls. Chris Brown was there, and we caught his shirt.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but my buddy did, and then he gave it to the girl that I was with because she loved Chris Brown or whatever. But like, you know, so
damn, y'all was close. Like to say,
yeah, because her dad would like worked high up in Pepsi and somehow was able to like get us. You know, I had no business being out there. But no, okay, so let's get into overall New Hampshire, disturbed people, weird fetishes. You guys you're on the list, all right? But Donnie T, Donald Trump, recently went on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, and they asked him about UFOs, and he said, no, so let's see, what does that say? It says, I know there are, can you scroll up to the first thing he said? And this is, I mean, like, how quick this guy thinks in terms of humor is insane. All right, so Trump. No, you're good. So Trump, known for his unconventional approach and candid remarks, touched on the subject during a sit-down with Logan Paul for the Impulsive podcast, where he was asked about his knowledge of UFOs and the government's handling of related information. Quote, I want to talk to you about aliens, UFOs, UAPs. The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently it's confusing and upsetting for a lot of Americans, said Paul on the podcast. Quote, this is Trump. I have met with pilots. They're not conspiratorial. They're not crazy. And they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe me, stated Trump. Am I a believer? No, I can't say that I am. But I have met with people, serious people, that say there are some really strange things flying around out there. And then Trump then digressed onto other aliens, eliciting the podcast host's laughter. Trump goes, I know there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of them. Those are the ones, when you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens? They might be illegal, but we don't want to test them, because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not gonna test them. Wow. I mean, the guy's a machine. The guy is a comedy machine. But I mean, speaking on the border crisis, did you know, Jay, that 50% of the illegal immigrants that are coming to America, if you had to guess, what race would you guess they are?
Young. Hispanic?
No.
I don't know. What?
Chinese.
Really?
They're Chinese. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that raises some red flags. China is known for being, and this is no secret, known for being secretive. And, kind of like what they do a lot of times is they'll send their children over here to get an education, work for a corporation, get high up in that company, take back the knowledge they have of whatever it is that they were a part of and bring it to China.
Oh, so spies.
Spies, essentially, yeah. Like, they literally, from birth, are born to do that.
Wow.
But these illegal ones, the illegal Chinese people that aren't going into the schools and whatnot, like, I think those ones are the ones running the special massages. I would have to guess, right? I mean, like, if I had to guess, I would
not see you going to that.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's because I wasn't going to say that, but it made me think that would make sense. Like,
well, you was a spy, weren't you?
I was a spy. What do you mean? I've met with spies. I've definitely met with them, and I've made contact with them before.
So you did research.
I did my research. Okay. And I will say, not all spies are bad, but they're like certain industries, like spas, for example, or like massage, whatever. But I think that there's something else going on with, dude, I forget the statistic for it, but the amount of Chinese people that are coming through the border is like, if you saw it, you'd be blown away, which is like, I don't know if they're infiltrating from like, from within.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like, I think it's like 2% of America, like with the radical views on, like, remember when everyone was getting canceled? Like
back in
like 26? It was when Trump was in office, I think. Everyone was getting canceled.
Yeah.
And like
cancel culture,
all that stuff. And like, okay, yeah, definitely like Harvey Weinstein, guy was a piece of shit.
I think because they was trying to cancel Trump. So
yeah,
like,
yes, yeah.
They was canceling everything else because they couldn't cancel Trump.
That's a great point. That's a great point. So I wonder if Trump wins this upcoming election, we're going to see that wave again. And man, that would fucking suck.
Yeah, we probably definitely see it again.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's pretty crazy. And I bet you, just in terms of the Chinese thing, that a lot of like the rhetoric on X, Twitter, whatever, that is like, like people freaking out about stupid stuff that seems to be like this huge thing. People see it and they're like, oh, I got to, people that write articles, oh, I got to write about this. It's a big thing. I think they're bots, that are set up from like Chinese, Russian, our enemies. I think, a lot of times it's bots that are creating these accounts and just to stir the pot, and just because the best way to destroy a country is, from within. Yeah. Especially with the United States, like we don't have anyone on either side of our east or west coast, like we're allies with Canada and Mexico. It just, we're in a perfect position, really, like in terms of like, because Europe, for example, if they went to war, they're right there. Us, you're going to have to, go through the U.S. Navy, Coast Guard.
It's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy unless you slip in like these Chinese people. Mm-hmm. I've said like Chinese probably 100 times now. Probably get flagged because they're probably running YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. But since we're talking about Donnie T, we might as well bring up his biggest opponent, Robert De Niro. Back at it again. He made a video in I forget when. It was when Trump was in office. He made a video of him in a dark room, and he was talking like he was like in, Goodfellas or The Irishman, and he's acting like he's in the mob, and he's like saying, Trump, you're an asshole, and blah, 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 and just kind of like made this very weird video. But here he comes. He's at a press conference, and let's hear what he has to say.
I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. But we vowed we would not allow...
Now, in the background, they're saying, fuck Joe Biden. So I don't know where this is, but this doesn't seem like the smartest idea by Bobby.
It's a mobster, man.
True. He's a mobster.
I owe this city a lot. And that's why it's so weird.
So he's in New York.
Donald Trump is just across the street. Because he doesn't belong in my city. I don't know where he belongs, but he certainly doesn't belong here. We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot. A two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids, pretending to be a spokesperson for himself.
That is funny. He did do that.
He was calling it as himself for himself to fool the press into inflating his net worth.
Can you pause it?
A clown.
So he did, in his book, The Art of the Deal, I believe he does talk about that. He talks about how he would call back when, like, you know, before the internet and all that stuff, back when he was just in real estate, he would call up the press, act as if he was someone else, and, like, report something about himself so that he would be in the news. Like, and like something that he says in that book, The Art of the Deal, is like, you know, any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's exactly what he did.
That's what he does, bro. He stays relevant. Like,
right.
Even out of office, he's still relevant. So it's like he just stays relevant. He won't go away.
He is never going to go away. People, dude, he's become literally like
he like being the villain.
He does.
Yeah.
He does like being the villain. Do you think he sees himself as the villain, or do you think he sees himself in...
Oh, for sure.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Even with, like, when he's at rallies with his supporters and they're saying,
yeah.
You think he's still thinking in the back of his mind, like...
Yeah. Like, any publicity is, you know...
True.
You know what I'm saying? So,
True.
like, he got a following, and he know how to talk to his people about it. You know what I mean? Like...
He knows how to talk.
Yeah, he knows how to talk.
Sure.
And he know how to stay in that role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and, dude, and then he tosses in these quick little, you know, quips and jokes and...
The funny stuff,
Dude, it's just like, how... Even if you don't like the guy, it's like...
Yeah. Like, I think he's funny. He's funny.
He's so hilarious. Funny, dude. And also, this is something else I personally think. I think that him wanting, like, he wants people to like him. He does want people to like him because, you know, that's how he stays in power. And he's always been that way. Like, you can tell just from reading the book, The Art of the Deal, like, you can tell he really kind of wants people to like him. And so I feel like if he is president, and when he was president, like, he's really trying to do things that work and help the American people, or do what he said he was going to do, because that makes people like him and that leaves his legacy better, you know, versus, like, he just got into office and then just kind of fucked around. So I just think, personally, I think even if he doesn't really care about the issue, to appease people and make them like him more, he might do it, you know, like, do something about it. So I just feel like he might work harder to get it done. Whereas Joey B, man, we got to let that guy take a rest. We got to let him take a nap or something. The guy is, I mean, falling asleep every.
Yeah, he's old.
But I mean, you know, that's how it goes. I don't know how RFK is doing in the polls. I was hoping for RFK. Probably would have been shot second day in office, though. Just like, I mean, it's the curse of the Kennedys. But yeah, I mean, Robert De Niro, I just don't like, I wish he wasn't doing this, because I feel like when someone that has a cool image starts getting into politics, it kind of takes away from the...
That's that villain thing, though. Like, I just feel like, you know, he's old, so he just like, he don't care. He gonna say what he want to say.
True.
And he really hate Trump, you know?
Yeah.
To the point where he's across the street. I don't want to look at him, you know? So, like...
Yeah. I wonder why he hates Trump so much. That's a good point. He really does hate Trump. And, like, because he has all the money he needs. You know, like, he's not gaining anything from this. Yeah. The guy is near death.
Nah, he literally saying what's on his mind.
Yeah, like, just really hates Trump. Doesn't he owe... I heard a conspiracy that Robert De Niro... for one of his movies, I forget, it was one of his mobster movies, he had money, like, he got money from the mob in New York in his early days to fund this movie, and he never paid them back, and so he isn't allowed in Like, I mean, well, now the mob's kind of dissolved, but like for a while, he wasn't really, looked at too fondly in New York but I don't know. I'm not
But
sure.
he's been in New York for a while.
Does he live there now?
I mean, I believe so. Either that or California.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
But he was born in New York, Robert De Niro.
That's a good question.
What if he was born in New Hampshire?
You got a diaper on.
Yeah. You ever seen his movie Casino?
I've seen all his movies.
He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah. Where's the wiki?
Oh, there it says, New York.
Oh, right here, yeah. He's 80 years old.
Jeez, oh my gosh. Dude, what's up? Like, we are giving the spotlight as American citizens to these old motherfuckers way too much, bro. Robert De Niro, Trump, Joe Biden, they're all like 80. They're all in their 80s, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't.
How old is Trump?
I think he's like 81 or something, or like
Damn, he's
78.
I didn't know he was that tall.
Oh, he's tall.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Right?
He like 6'4" or 6'3".
Dude, he's huge. And so that's why it's like, remember when he said the little Rocket Man thing about the North Korean leader?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a picture of them, because he still, after saying that, he still was able to get a meeting with Kim Jong-un. And there's like a picture of them walking together. Kim Jong-un is literally like, his head is at his hip. Like, it looks hilarious.
Did they shake hands or something?
Dude, they shook hands. They had a meeting. Like, there has not been a president since, I don't know how long. It's been forever that has been able to make a meeting and meet with a North Korean leader.
He got balls, man.
He's got balls, and I think that's part of why, like, other leaders respect him, or they think he's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think Joe Biden's gonna,
Yeah, Trump he ain't scared of nothing, man.
He's not scared of nothing. Yeah, and I mean, dude, he's old. Like, which could also be a problem, because like, if he's not scared of anything,
Yeah.
what if he's not, he's not scared of dying? But I'm scared of dying. I don't want to die. So hopefully he doesn't. If he does get enough.
He was like the most like recent president that I thought like somebody would like hurt him.
Dude, yeah, me too.
Obama too, but like him.
Oh yeah.
But like him, he was more than Obama. I was just like somebody's.
Yeah, I thought Obama was when he was in office. Like, dude, he's the only president that really had like a swagger to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was cool. Like, he spoke so well too, and like,
He never got rattled.
Never got rattled. Yeah. Imagine if he had different views, or would have done more. I think he could have been like, one of the greatest presidents. But he didn't. But he still looked the part, which is what matters in America. Yeah. Is if you look the part, it's good. Mm-hmm. Something funny about Obama. I believe I was in like 4th grade when he was elected, and he was going against John McCain, and my mom, very religious woman, like very religious Mexican one, she was so upset because Republicans, were, they're like the Christian, like, and she's like, oh my God. I swear, I remember this like it was yesterday. I was in bed, like we were sitting in like her bedroom, and she's like, oh my God. And then they announced who won, and it was Obama. And she was like, she looked at me and she goes, Johnny, she said, Johnny, the end times are coming. That is the Antichrist. And she was talking about Obama. She truly believed that Barack Obama was the Antichrist. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, she doesn't believe that anymore, obviously. Right. But like at the time, like it just goes to show, like, if you're religious, like very religious, and because in the Bible you can. Have you ever read, like, are you familiar with Revelations, the book of Revelations?
I mean, it's been so long.
So it's the last book of the Bible, and in it's in the New Testament, it talks about the end times. And in the end times, there's going to be a very charismatic leader who comes, and it's going to be the Antichrist. And he's going to, you're going to have to get, like, the mark of the beast is what they call it. So it's like a chip or I don't know exactly what it would be, but they say they're gonna put it in your, like, I think it's your left, like, palm or like wrist or whatever, or it'll be in your forehead, and the mark is like 666. But they say there would be a very charismatic leader for 3 years. There will be peace, and then after that 3 years, hell will be on earth. Like, and then eventually it'll be God will destroy it. But like that's what essentially she thought was happening. And so me, I was in 4th grade, terrified. I started bringing my Bible to school. Kids started asking me why. I'm like, because the Antichrist is the president. They're like, what the fuck? I was sounded like a nut. But yeah, and then so did we talk about the Russian ships or just
No.
Oh, okay. So Russia has these ships that are about 100 miles away from the U.S. right now. They're I believe docked in Cuba. Yeah. So Putin flexes his missiles by sending warships within 100 miles of U.S.
Crazy title.
Crazy title. Can we listen to this?
Yeah.
Or is it
I own a lot of businesses, so I wear a lot of hats.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that
I knew that was gonna happen. I can never
22-second ad. That's
Dude,
crazy.
that's the thing with these news like websites. You click on a video, you have to watch an advertisement every time before you actually get to watch the video.
And the ads be so long.
I
I'm
know.
like, dude, I want to watch this. Come on.
I'm never gonna buy what this guy's selling. Verizon. I used to
Verizon?
sell
These
that.
are the first images of the Russian flotilla steaming towards Cuba,
Wait, can you pause this
just
real quick?
90 miles off the
The guy talking sounds like he just ran, like
Like he got the
And spotted.
information.
Yeah,
and was
yeah.
Like, oh, I got to do it right now.
like he was doing a reconnaissance. Go ahead.
These are the first images of the Russian flotilla steaming towards Cuba, just 90 miles off the US coast. The Russian Defense Ministry says the strike group, including a nuclear-powered submarine, the Kazan,
How do we have
armed
videos
with
of
That's what
modern
I'm that's what I'm
caliber cruise missiles, is practicing the use of high-precision weapons. But it's really about Putin flexing his muscles
Did they
on the
send video?
international stage.
Dude,
Led by the flagship
Hold on. Did they send footage over to us too?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they chose this guy to talk. I don't know.
Was that a reenactment or was
No,
that?
that was definitely like it. So for people that are listening, or I'll put a link so you guys can see this video, or maybe I'll insert it. But it's a video of what we were just listening to, and it showed the inside of one of the Russian warships, and it showed like the people that are working it. Now I don't know if they just let some CNN reporter come on in there and record this, but yeah,
That he was flexing for sure.
he's flexing for sure. Putin's flexing.
of Russia's northern fleet, the Admiral Gorshkov, which Russia's defense ministry says is normally equipped with latest Zircon hypersonic missiles. This is meant to deliver a powerful message to Washington. Russian state television has been celebrating the naval deployment, placing some of Russia's most powerful vessels in Cuban waters.
Где АПЛ находится?
The American media has been discussing the event, reports the Russian news anchor, claiming the Pentagon has no idea where our submarine is positioned.
Bragging
In
about the
fact,
submarine,
US
yeah.
officials are downplaying any threat, but Moscow has been signaling displeasure at Washington recently green-lighting Ukrainian attacks on Russian territory with US-supplied weapons. Speaking ahead of the Cuba naval visit, Vladimir Putin warned of a possible Russian response.
If they in the West supply weapons to the zone of combat operations and call for the use of these weapons against our territory, then why do we not have the right to do
Like
the
this
same,
voice.
to mirror these actions? I'm not ready to say that we will do it tomorrow, but we, of course, should think about it.
Elsewhere, Moscow has been stepping up tactical nuclear drills too, staging exercises with neighbouring Belarus near the Ukrainian border. Russian tactical nukes, delivered from either ground or air, can level entire cities, although the Kremlin insists it has no plans at this stage to use
So there's that. I mean,
Fucking try.
Yeah. Come at us, Russia. But now there's a few things I got from that video. The first thing is that they definitely chose that first voice to like kind of amplify the, you know, how extreme it is. Because then when they had Putin talking, it went down to this like mellow dude, you know, like. But
it's something to think about. I'm like,
yeah, like why does that? But then it with the what accent was that? Like Scottish?
I don't know. It was aggressive. Whatever.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
Whatever reporter that was.
Yeah.
I just want to know how they got footage. Like, did they send that to us?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they're like, hey, haha.
Like, yeah, we're close here.
And then it's also kind of weird how it shows that in Russian media, they're like bragging about us not being able to find their submarine. I feel like I wouldn't even be talking about that. And like, I wouldn't even bring that up. I don't want them to know I have a submarine out. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. The last time Russia had ships this close to us was during the Cuban Missile Crisis with JFK. And, you know, and with that, JFK, you know, all of the generals were asking him to, you know, send a nuke to Russia, because the thought was that now that Russia or the Soviet Union at the time had nukes in Cuba, like they were setting them up there. And we have nukes in, you know, around Russia, but they don't have any around us. And JFK, like, because they didn't have like, you know, cell phones and shit back then. So it was all based on like you'd have to wait, you know, a few days to get a response from like a leader of another country. Damn. And so he's having faith that the leader at the time, Lenin, I think it was Lenin, Joseph Lenin, didn't like withdrew the nukes from Cuba, because we warned them. We told them like, hey, you got to get this shit out of here. And there was like, I forget if it was like the 3 hours. There was like a certain amount of time. There's a book written on it. A certain amount of time where, like, the U.S. we were thinking we were gonna get nuked. Like we were planning on it, but JFK kept waiting because he had faith that, you know, that the Soviet Union was gonna pull the like missiles from Cuba so that to avoid this all happening. And sure enough, he did. He pulled out, and if JFK would have listened to everyone else in that room, then we would have been in a nuclear war, which is crazy, right? That's what I'm saying. RFK, you know, he's got that brain, you know, although he does talk weird, so there's that. But yeah, you guys, this has been a great episode. Nice little current events, nice history, and definitely be doing more of those. You can always count on me being here, and then wonderful sound engineer Jay contributing as well. Thank you for listening to the JROD Pod, and have a great day.